As we continue with the conversation on Women's Day theme, let's now invite Puleng Pelembe, who joins us in studio to talk about the economic importance of this month. Pelembe is an entrepreneur and founder of Tjantjello Training Solutions. She mentors and advises informal women traders to become business enterprises in townships and rural areas. She also runs projects for people living with disabilities and trains and places them for employment. Her work has earned her recognition and receiving an award. Puleng, welcome to our show here on the late edition. Thank you so much for joining us here in studio. Of course, we know about the Tjantjello Training Solutions. That is your initiative. Tell us more about that. You know, what prompted you to start an initiative like this?
Okay, thank you so much, Mbali. So Tjantjello Training Solution has been in existence this year for 16 years. The reason why I started this is because I'm also a beneficiary of a learnership where I started as one of the first learnership recipients with the services SETA for new venture creation. I then realized how that, me being in a learnership, changed my life. I then wanted to, share the same knowledge and give same women and youth and people living with disabilities the opportunity to change their lives through educating themselves and obviously venturing into whatever businesses that they're interested in. Being it business, we also now training learners in electrical qualification as apprentices, and also as we're giving them a trade test to have their red seal as electricians.
I know that you've spoken a bit about the electrician stuff. Maybe perhaps if you can just give us more about the other types of training you do, especially I know about the informal traders.
Yes.
That's something that is quite close to your heart.
Yes, the informal traders, we have got a working relationship with various SETAs whereby they give us the mandate to go into communities and look for women and youth-owned hawker street vendors, for a lack of better word, that we put in a training, and after the training, part of us giving back to the community is going back to see that from after we've imparted the knowledge with them, we want them to move now from informal to start operating within the mainstream economy, where we assist them with mentorship program as part of giving back to the community. Hence why today I have been nominated by the South African Heroine Award as part of the charity drive that we have been doing and as an organization. Today, we have a few of those informal traders that will be going to Kenya, Nairobi, funded by one of the SETAs, where they will be engaging with other informal traders from other countries, where they will be learning how to be successful as an informal trader, especially from a South African context, whereby they will also be learning how to use the advances of technology for them to be able to grow.
And maybe, one can ask, what was missing when you did your training that made you, or rather put you in this position to provide another platform for, various people and young women out there?
Okay, when we did training was just training for the sake of training. We trained for impact. We do not train our beneficiaries and leave them. We go back after we've trained them to ensure that the learnings we've given them, they actually implement. We mentor them and we handhold them to make sure that they get to the next level of business. Because when I started, I didn't know my business would be where it is today, where we've got a national footprint and we're able to go even to rural communities and be able to, share our services with people who might not necessarily have the resources to come to us.
And it brings me to this, what type of women get to benefit from your initiative? Is it women from townships? I hear you speaking about women in rural communities. What type of women usually benefit from this initiative?
So we do not select all kinds of women because with the informal traders, we know the level of education is different. It then moves from informal traders where we don't have any particular qualification that they need to have. We've got programs that start from NQF level 2 up to NQF level 5, whereby anybody from standard 8 or grade 10 can be into our program. So we go to rural communities. We also go to townships to get these women that have got a business idea or are passionate about doing something, that have actually taken the initiatives to start selling things within their communities where they've identified the gap.
How important is this mentorship program to you? and having a platform, providing this platform to a number of women out there who are very deserving and who seem to have the skills and just need to be pushed in the right direction.
It is quite important for me because what we are trying to drive is that we want women to have economic freedom, to be able to live sustainable lives and to be able to provide for their families, which then changes, the narrative within their environment, whereby they do not necessarily depend on men or do not subject themselves to the kind of abuse that they might have to while they're depending on somebody else.
What challenges do you encounter? I mean, you touch so many people's lives, you change so many people's lives, so many women's lives out there. What challenges do you encounter? I'm sure there must be a few.
Yes, there's plenty of challenges that we get. I think the first one is, when we start, we need to change the mindset of the people, because people have been in an environment where they do not believe in anything. They have lost hope. They have got no confidence in the system or in anything. They're just living for the sake of living. So the first thing we need to change is to change the mindset and to allow the women to see themselves different, to think like entrepreneurs, to see themselves as successful, to see themselves running their own establishment, whereby they then become job creators. So I think the mindset for us is the biggest thing. The second challenge would be, even if we would like to put some people into our program, but there's always that minimum requirement for them to be able to meet certain criteria to be into our program. Yes.
And a bit earlier on, you said what makes your training program different is that you go back to the people that you've trained. Perhaps give us a success rate. What is the success rate of your initiative?
It's quite successful. As I've mentioned earlier, some of our people have been taken by one of the sitters, where they'll be going to Kenya, Nairobi, to learn from others. We've got a lot of them that have moved from being informal traders, where they now have registered businesses, where they are complying with the bylaws within the communities, because you can't just put your tech shop here without understanding what are the bylaws saying in your municipality. So compliance has become a big thing. People are now able to manage a simple thing like a business bank account, where they're managing their finances properly. They're able to start taking their children to school to educate them. They're able to start saving to buy properties, to have homes for their children. So we've actually seen a lot of progress, where we also, part of the things is we also create a link to the markets, whereby we can refer them with other organs of state, where they can get additional assistance in terms of the field that they've decided to take within business.
Puleng, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for coming to studio. That is Puleng Pelembe, who is an entrepreneur and founder of Tjantjello Training Solutions. Of course, a training and mentoring platform given to a number of informal women traders.